what I've got here, and I've been working on this, is I expressed my concerns with running combat with this type of system, and with multiple combatants, and so I've made little cards here that have the character details on them.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and you're going to move them around, put them in order and stuff like that. That's great.
Yeah, I just play like playing cards. On the back, I've got a picture of the characters. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You got to scan that stuff.
We need to start with, I guess it would be an initiative roll.
Yep. And as I recall, you roll and you add your combat style and your reaction bonus if you've got one, and I do. So I've got my reaction bonus, which is 1, and I've got my combat style level, which is 1. So I'm going to add 2 to my initiative roll. So you tell me when you're ready to make the order. I don't want to rush you.
And this is with a D10, is that right?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
That's what I was checking on, just to make sure.
Because I picked up the D20 because I'm just used to rolling a D20 in this system.
Yeah, that I was like fumbling around myself to say, oh, no, I got to go back. And
so anyway, so we've got Hade, Throxon, Wella, and Palamuse. I believe that's all of our pals. And they seem to have piled up largely at 12. But what about the one burning-eyed dreadful fellow? Is he special, or has he already been accounted for?
No, that figure disappeared.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, almost like it was.
That's
almost like it was immaterial.
Okay, well, I find that a bit reassuring, actually. So, yeah, he made an opera speech, and then he fled or rather, it's like, yeah, right, grow.
It was almost like magic.
After that, get some density, then come tell us that. Okay, so in that case, we are all good to go. All right, we have got.
Yes.
I don't want to run this for you, but I thought I'd facilitate just a little bit by having this list right here in front of me, and you can always refer to it for like who goes next or whatever. Okay, I'll keep track of who goes.
This is great.
Yeah. So you are up. You get to play a whole bunch of characters before we do, though. So first up is Palamuse.
Palamuse. Yes. This is like in a dining hall. Is that right? It's like a banquet hall that we're in.
Yeah, it's like a big, really big, just like an oblong, like square-shaped room with a table in the middle and just tables surrounding, and just various old things like tables and chairs, and just it's not in good shape after sitting there for so many years.
So are the tables kind of like laid out like a cafeteria in like rows and stuff, or are they lining the edges with a big open space in the middle?
They're lining the edges,
right? So
more like giving like reverence,
right? And so there's more or less an open space in the middle, and the skeletons who are rising at us, they're seated in various places. Is that correct?
They are actually, the table that the figure was at was kind of like an oblong banquet table, and the figures he was sitting at the head of the table, and these figures were seated. Now it had probably 20 chairs, 20 seats, but only 6 of these figures are raised.
Okay. So I guess, are we looking at that table sideways or end on?
You're looking at it from the end, from the other end.
Got it.
All right. So Palamuse is going first. Now his movement's not very fast, so let's see. 20. Okay. Yeah, he's got plenty of time. He can make it. One movement though. He's a dwarf, and the dwarves have the berserk. Any situation that's a combat, they get an automatic +3, and I've already factored that in. That's why he did so good with his initiative. So he jumps up, charges the first skeletal figure, the closest one to him, and what do we got here?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that Matthew Yarrow and Colin McRae were very fond of their dwarves.
Okay, where's my chart? Rolled an 11.
What's his total combat modifier to his roll?
That is 6.
Oh wow!
I included the berserker ability in that, so it's a full 6.
Your total is what?
I got 11.
Okay, so in that case, he's got a miss.
Yeah, that's going to just make him angrier at this point.
I imagine yeah.
All right. So the next step is, who's up next?
Well, we have everybody piled up. We've got 2 skeletons, numbers 1 and 4. We've got Hade, Throxon, and Rella. So everybody's piled up at once. Just make sure you know which number of skeleton that Palamuse attacked, and you're good.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
In fact, if you want, you can tell me, and I'll just draw a little arrow.
Palamuse attacked the number 1.
Gotcha. Okay, no problem. Okay, so Robbie, can you help me out with Tide Initiative? My brain just froze.
I'm just I'm looking at the initiative right now. I am not seeing a rule for tied initiatives.
Okay. Well, the game is quite clear in many places about looking at the positioning and GM's judgment. And also weapon lengths and stuff like that matter a lot. So we know Rella's using a sword. We know Throxon's using a spear. I don't remember Hade. I think, wasn't he a more close combat guy?
Hade uses a sword.
Right. So Rella's and Hade have swords. Throxon has a spear. How are the skeletons armed?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the skeletons are armed with long swords.
Okay. Well, if you're going to go by GM's judgment in terms of tied initiative, then probably Throxon gets the first hit in, regardless of what else happens, because he's got a longer weapon.
Okay. So yeah, that's. I was kind of thinking that as far as spears and things like that, for situations like this, the long spear is not something that's going to be useful especially if you're going underground. Something like that would be kind of hard to move around with. So short spear definitely is a better weapon. So that's going to be medium also, if I'm not mistaken.
So So if everybody's going to be at medium range here, then we're not finding a rule about tied initiative. So you're just going to have to say who goes first. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters all acting in the same microsecond. So basically let us know who gets in there and how.
So you said there's 4 that have 12?
5.
5.
Do you want to talk through?
Let's see, Rella. Yeah, I was just kind of getting my thoughts straight here. I haven't had coffee yet, so but Palamuse is attacking number 1, and Rella was also up for having a 12.
Oh yeah.
And we'll put her with 2. We're going to say Hade has number 3. And Throxon has 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, okay, now we've got 2 more characters that are
There's
we get
Skeleton 1
to
and Skeleton 4
share.
are both in that situation.
Since they're just now waking up, I'm going to give the party in this situation. So I'm going to roll for Rella first.
Okay, sounds good. Is her combat? Wait. Is her combat modifier higher than the skeletons?
Yes.
Okay, so you go roll, add her number.
I rolled a 13 total.
Got it.
Which is a light hit.
Correct, half damage. And I'm not sure. You're going to have to do the mechanics upon the skeleton itself because I don't have that in front of me. So
I've got it right here, and
strength damage and
weapon damage
together, and then you cut the whole thing in half.
That's what I'm going to do right now. Let's see what we get here. So she did 6 damage.
Wow, that's pretty hard. That's a heavy hit, even for.
I just subtracted 6 from the life of the number 2 skeleton. That her blow chipped off part of the decaying armor, but and dust. A lot of dust flying, but otherwise that skeleton is unhindered. I want to roll now for. We're going to roll for Hade.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a pretty big sword, the broadsword. Oh, I rolled a 19.
Oh,
that means 22 total.
Oh my God, critical. So when we go to our critical weapon times 2. So I didn't bork it numerically, but I borked it slightly procedurally last time. So to go through this properly, first of all, roll strength damage and weapon damage. Do the weapon damage, when you do the weapon damage, double it. So might as well roll that first. Roll the weapon damage.
Oh, okay.
Double that.
Okay. Okay.
And then roll strength damage and add it.
Okay. Okay. So Hade, he takes, leans back with that sword and swings a huge whooshing blow, and the skeleton he attacked just falls apart.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it just lets out a loud crackling sound. That was an excellent hit, and that reduced it to 0 life.
Fantastic. So crunch. So never mind if he lived, we would have talked about debilitating wounds, reduced armor scores, and all that stuff. But
right.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So
and which skeleton was that?
That was I just put a big X over. That was number 3.
That was 3. That's right. And let's see.
And you've got
Throxon
as well, yeah.
Throxon, he kind of seems like a goober a little bit, but in this situation, he does seem to be. He struck
me as pretty competent when the heat comes on. So let's see how he does.
Well, let's see here. And his combat is +3. I rolled a 19, so that's another 22.
Yeah. Oh God. All right.
So Okay, so and he's got a spear which is D6 damage.
Double it, and then
okay, he's not very strong. I've got a D6 for his strength. That is 2. I rolled that, so that's a total of 12 points of damage. And this is in this situation.
Hardcore, yeah.